This conference will now be recorded.
Let me know if you can see my screen. So demo I have already given. Yeah. So you just look at that once. But yeah, I'll discuss more about the course curriculum. Yeah. Before that, I'll introduce myself, the people who didn't join the initial session. So my name is Ram. So I'm in Salesforce for past around 14 plus years. I started my career in Salesforce itself. So it's my total experience, and of course, even the Salesforce experience is 14 years. But I've trained more than 1,000 people in different areas of Salesforce, whether it is admin, CPQ, marketing, development, advanced development, and multiple other things. Yeah. Uh, Yep, associated with career IT for more than 5 6 years by now. And so yeah, this session it's is all about learning admin and the development. So I think you might add a discussion with the consultancy. So admin will be for 20 hours and development will also be for 20 hours. So what are we gonna discuss on this? So first, so I've divided the entire admin into the seven parts. One is data model. That's where we will define. We'll discuss about the terminologies that we have in Salesforce. How do we, for example, the best part of Salesforce is to if you understand the Excel sheet, right? So we can understand Salesforce as easy as possible as well. So we'll compare Salesforce with Excel. We'll see how the terminologies varies, and then we'll start defining the basic applications, and then the tables that we need, the relations that we need inside the tables, and different formulas that we require. All this, right? And then we'll discuss about the UIs, right? Like there are features like page layouts, lightning pages, and all. So we'll discuss about that. So once you have your data model and the UI ready, we'll discuss about the security. So there are multiple features that we have in security, like profiles, permissions, sets, roles, OWD rules, sharing rules, all this. So we'll discuss about them. Post that, we'll discuss about the automations like flows, process builders, approval processes, and all. So, for the people who are aware, yes, I do know that Salesforce have stopped allowing people to use process builders, but we can still modify the existing process builders that were already built in the system. Process builders came into Salesforce in 2014, and still till which means almost a decade back it came in. So since then people are using process builder. So even though it has been decommissioned, or even though Salesforce is not allowing you to do create any new process builders, it still allows you to modify the existing one. So it's good to know what is it, how do you use that. So we'll discuss about that. Then we'll discuss more about flows. We'll spend around 2 3 days on flows. Then approval processes. Post that, we'll discuss about the standard sales and service processes that we have in Salesforce, all the automations, and then work upon bulk data loads. Like, oh, what if I have lakhs of records to do a transaction instead of doing one? So, what am I going to do? So, what are the different tools that are available? Post that, we'll discuss about the reporting structure, and then you're all set for admin certification. So this is what we are going to cover about your entire admin. And what is the prerequisite for this? Basic knowledge on Excel. That too, when I say basic knowledge on Excel, you don't have to think about, oh, okay, does it mean that I have to learn about Excel, how to create formulas, automations, or all? Nothing. If you know how to use your Excel, like for creating table, just doing some totals, very basic. What is a column, what is a row? Those that knowledge is good enough to learn your admin journey. Because in Salesforce, as I told you earlier, admin is not about securing the people or securing the data. Being an admin, you can even build an application with just point and clicks if you know the business. then you're good with admin. Any questions in it? Anyone? And yeah, feel free to stop me at any point. Um, please don't wait till the end and ask questions because high chance that you'll forget the questions. Any questions here? Am I audible? Yeah. So on an average, it will take 20 sessions to come. Sorry, go on. Hello.
No questions, Ram. Yeah.
Okay. So on an average, it will take around 20 sessions to complete your admin, right? Post that, we'll start looking for development. So this 20 sessions, there's no guarantee that it'll take only 20 sessions. It depends on the people. It might go up sometimes or go some down sometimes. As I have to give you some bare minimum number, so I'm just giving you an average. Yeah. Post that, you will have development. So if we the question that you will have is, okay, Ram, if an admin I can as an admin I can do the entire application, then why should I go for a development? So yes, you can build an application, you can define the security, you can write the automations, but they have limitations. There is no guarantee that it's not guaranteed. It is pretty common that most of the business users they will have some complex use cases as well. So none of the admin features that we have seen now won't be able to handle too much of complicated issues, like it has own limitations. So that is where we will go with the development, which means if I know that there is a feature this which cannot be resolved in admin, then only I will go with the features of development. Keep in mind. Yeah. Which also means you should be aware of complete admin knowledge, and then you can start your development journey. And yes, as it is development, it will be good if you have some knowledge on object oriented programming, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. At least if you have a very basic knowledge, which anyways I will cover, right? I'll help you out to look into some documentation, start looking into it. So where we'll discuss about what all the features that are important. Yeah. And then when it comes to the codes, so we'll discuss about apex, queries, triggers, asynchronous apex, user interface, and then there are some services like email service, and of course integrations. And then we'll discuss about the release management. Like it's not that we'll define everything in production, right? We do have development environments in Salesforce, so we will have to do the developments and we have to do the testings and then we'll push it to productions. So how do we do this release management? What kind of testings we do? All these things we'll discuss, which ends your development course. Okay. And again, this also will take on an average of 20 sessions. But yeah, you might have a question. Okay, Ram, it looks like there are all concepts in admin, but very less concepts in development. So how come it is matching? Because there are features where we will spend more time in the development. Rather, I would rather say development takes more time rather than your admin. Okay. So Ram, I'm not from a development background, but I really want to learn development. So will this help me? Yes, if you want to be a I mean, if you learn Apex, for example, if you ask me, I'm not a computer science student. I'm an electronics student. I don't know anything about Java even now, object-oriented programming, but I know Apex, the direct programming language of Salesforce. Apex is originated from Java, but yeah, I learned Apex directly. So it's not that tough. If I can learn, then definitely you can learn easily. Yeah. Okay. Any questions in this? Anyone? So as the session is having a mixed people, so I'm not going in depth for the because this we have already covered in the initial demo. So I'm just giving you a high level overview. But yeah, if you feel that you didn't understood or you have any questions, please do let me know. So I'll try to answer your questions.
Hi Ram, this is Neha. So I have one quick question regarding Lightning that components. So you will be covering that as well?
Yeah. If you see, so that's been mentioned in the UI. So again, in even in this one also admin development also. So we have Apex user interface concepts are two. One is Aura and the Lightning Web Components. Actually, I can go only with LWC, but the point again is Aura has been there since 2013, right? And it is being used even now also. And Salesforce didn't decommission the product, right? So it is good to have a knowledge on Aura. So
Mm.
I've kept Aura as one concept. We'll spend around 1 or 2 days on Aura as well, and then we'll discuss about Lightning Web Components.
Okay.
Any other questions, anyone? So next question is okay. So how about the project? So we'll discuss about project from day one itself. I mean, not today, from tomorrow. So we'll start discussing about a particular feature maybe from tomorrow, a particular application or use case. We'll start building all these features on that use case. Okay, but before that, how do we get the environments? So I will discuss about getting an environment. Try to register if possible before you're coming to the next session, right? Let me log out. Yeah. So go to developer.salesforce.com. So there are two places where you can register. One is salesforce.com. Here you can try to sign up. So you have a lot of features where you can sign up from here as well. So just go to login, Salesforce and do a sign up, or the other one. So I would suggest to go with developer.salesforce.com. Reason being, once you sign up, uh, so this edition that you are getting in the developer.salesforce.com, it is for lifetime, right? The other one, if you are going with direct salesforce.com, here also you will get it, but it will be there for a month or so. Post that, it will expire. So whatever the efforts that you kept to learn for this entire month, right, it will be lost. So that you better go with developer.salesforce.com. Now here, what should I do? Go to browse all trials, right? Go to browse trials and then browse all trials. Here these are the different editions that we have. So do a sign up for a developer edition. So once you click on it, it will ask your first name, last name, email. So email can be your personal mail ID and role can be anything. So it will show you multiple roles. It doesn't matter whichever the role that you are choosing. So you can pick any role for that matter. Then company, if you are working for an organization, give your organization name. If not, give it as Salesforce or whatever, it is fine. Even if you're giving your name, it doesn't matter. That is just for the sake of records and creating a hierarchy in your organization. Salesforce is asking it. And I don't have to explain you about this country, region, postal code. But something which is very important is username. Username must be in the form of an email address, right? So if you see here, it says jane at company.sandbox. So you can give your email ID also. Post that, you agree the conditions and go to sign me up. Once you sign up, right, it will send a verification email to the mail ID that you have given over here. When you click on it, it will ask you for resetting your password. Once you reset your password, you will be taken to this place. Shit. Okay, let me log into my regular one. Yeah. So once you log in, right, post verification, it will take you to this place. So this is what is your Salesforce login. But by any chance, if you close it, so you just have to go to login.salesforce.com and then I mean I have multiple records already. So you better give your username and password. It will allow you to log in. Any questions in registrations? You want me to go again?
Hi Ram, I clicked on sign me up, but it again showing me sign me up. So it's not giving me any error. Maybe I have already signed up with my email ID.
Yeah, it will take some time. Yeah, you just leave it for a minute. It will take some time. So if there are too many accounts coming in, even I have seen that issue recently in Salesforce. So this is the URL. Okay, so give it 5 or 10 minutes. You check your mail. So if you're still not getting the mail, yep, try it again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I go ahead or? If anyone wants to try, you can try now. Okay, so we will go very slowly once you register, right? Um, so this entire week we'll discuss only about the data models and the basics. Okay, so can someone tell me, or did anyone participate? I mean, join the demo sessions earlier, or did anyone saw the demo session? Either the recorded one.
Ram, I have attended the demo sessions of your two classes.
Oh, great. Any questions till now, anyone?
No, Ram.
Yeah, perfect. Now, today we will see a standard or a basic sales process first. Okay. So once we register with Salesforce, right? Salesforce gives us some standard applications by default. You don't have to define anything. The apps are already built across all the organizations it will give, but it's a market standard application. Okay. Now, for example, I'm an end user. I have taken to this page. Why should I use Salesforce, or why should I use this application, this technology? Basically, to process my data. So, to process the data, I need an application. Where should I access the application? This is where you will see your application. This we call it as this 9 dot, which looks like a waffle, right? So, this we call it as app launcher. Click on it and say view all. Okay. So when I say view all, it will show you a list of apps for me. So I didn't create any applications inside it. So sorry. These are all the list of applications that I can access. See, I'm saying these are all the applications that I can access, which means my organization, once we sign up, right? So basically, you're not signing up for a login, you're signing up for an org rather. Okay, Ram, what is the difference? For example, if you have signed up for Facebook, what can you do? Anyone? Can someone tell me what can we do when we sign up for org? So fine, sign up in Facebook.
You can try finding your friends.
Yeah, you can figure out your friends, you can chat with them, you can share your information with them. But can you create an account or a sub account yours for your friend?
Sorry, what is the question? Can we
Can
create?
I can I create an account for my friend in my account? No, right? That is not
No,
even
no,
possible.
no.
I can share my information, right?
Yeah.
But in Salesforce, once after registering or signing up for an org, we can create user accounts here. Okay. Now, as I have signed up for this org, I will be called as an admin for this org. Okay. So I am the admin for this org, and then let's say if I have joined as an end user, right? So my admin might have defined 100 applications in this org, but I will be able to see only the applications that my admin have decided to give me. Okay. Now let's say I'll go with sales. So why sales, Ram? It is very simple to understand because it is pretty common everywhere. Yeah. So when you go with sales org, sales application, this is how your application looks like. I'll just close this guided enter. This is how your application looks like. Okay. Now let's compare this with Excel sheet or Excel. I'll compare later. Don't want to confuse you. Now let us say uh, I want to search for oil in Google. What happened now? I just search for oil. What happened? Search engine returned me lot of records which has some information about oil, right? Lot of things, and whichever the data that I can access, by the way, right? Let's say I'm from India, so in India we have Indian oil. So does it allow me to access the information of Indian oil server, which is confident? Let's say next quarter they have their quarter results, for example. I don't know, but I'm just randomly telling. Or let's say they have a confidential file. Will that be leaked over here? Definitely not, right? Google search engine helps me to access the information that I can access. Similarly, here we have something called a search bar here, right? Here if I type oil and click on enter, what will happen is it will search for that particular string across the organization, right? Across this or that I can access. For example, let me see the accounts. There should be some random accounts that should be available. It's there, right? Why is it not coming? So new that I have created. I think there is some issue with this org. Let me switch to some other org. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I'll search for oil. So what happened? It has searched for that particular string oil across my organization from multiple tables, whatever the information that I can access, right? So this is called as global search. The first feature is called as global search. Global search is the first feature that will aware of it. Okay. Then in this results, I got to know that okay, I want to work with this lady, Ashley James. Started opening this. So there is too much of information here. We'll keep it aside. But yeah, I started continuing working with this. And later on, so I was on leave or something, I forgot. Again, after coming back, again I have to search for this particular record and start working again, right? Instead, I can make it as my favorite. so that whichever tab I may in future, I can click on this down arrow mark, pick this particular record and start working on it. Okay, that is the advantage of your favorite option. Okay, then so under the application, what do you mean by an application, by the way? Anyone? Anyone? In Salesforce, application is nothing but combination of objects or tables, right, with a well-defined process. Okay. Now, under the application, now if we compare with Excel sheet, right, if you consider application as one Excel file, right, so what you have in file, you will have multiple sheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, multiple sheets. Correct. So here in app, we will have multiple tabs. Home is one tab, opportunities in another tab, leads is another tab, tasks is another tab. These are multiple tabs of your application. Okay. Now, inside the sheets, what you'll have? Anyone? I mean, now it's blank, but ideally, what is the purpose of a sheet?
Rows and columns.
So you will create tables, right? CST name, phone, email. You create some tables and start saving your information. Correct. Let's say um, funny, large, etc. Phone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, something like this, right? So now what is the purpose of a sheet? Sheet helps you to access the data of a table, customer table. Correct. Similarly, the tabs helps us to access the data of a object. We can have n number of records in the system in that particular object, so all these records can be accessed using your app. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? No questions? So if I want to create a new record, I'll go to new row, just add the name, right? I mean, no name and the other details. Here in Salesforce, if I want to create a new record, I'll go to the tab, click on new button, start creating the records. So here, these are the column names: CST name, phone number. If even you go with 1 lakh records, here you'll store CST name, here you'll store phone, here you'll store email ID. So here also you can have n number of records, but these are the columns. The columns, the technical name for a column in Salesforce is field. Okay, don't worry. Terminologies are not very complex. You will get used to it maximum in 1 or 2 days. The moment you start creating the system, or can start creating some records, you'll get used to it. Fields are called as names, or if you want me to write down, Excel and Salesforce. You will have files. We call it apps. Under files, you'll have sheets. Under sheets, you'll have tables. Under tables, you'll have row. You'll have and rows and columns. It doesn't matter. And then row number. Anything else we are missing in Salesforce? But in Excel? Anyone? Anything we missed in Excel? Formulas and all that we'll discuss later. Okay, that is a little advanced concept, at least for now. Yeah. So a file is called as app, sheet is called as tab, and table is called as object, row is called as record, column is called as field, row number is record. I'll explain you in detail because as there are very few people who attended the demo, I just discussed about the course content and all in the first 30 minutes. So as I don't have much time, so I'm just discussing about this. But once you are ready with your org, we will go in depth tomorrow. Okay, we'll take some example. We'll discuss about some sales application and then we'll come back. Yeah. Now, any questions in this? So if we go back to Salesforce, so sales is our application, which record it is. Opportunity is our tab, right? New opportunity is my record. So once you create a record, let's say IBM Bangalore is my record. So if you see on the top, this one is the ID of my record. For example, I copied it, just went somewhere. What I'll do is I will paste that after this lightning.com, that ID. It will take me to that record again, IBM Bangalore. How, for example, even if you are on bottom of this table, if I say, can you go to row 6? What you'll do, you'll say, okay, I can see Raj information there. Similarly, this ID will be always unique. ID of the record is always unique across the system. The information that is there inside this record might change, but the ID for this record won't change. Clear? It's a Salesforce generated one. Any questions so far? Now, let us go with a very simple sales application. Okay. So, what is the sales process? We will define some ads or we'll do some marketing. Then we'll get some inquiries. They'll become our customers if things goes good, right? Is this the standard sales process that we have in the market or do we have anything else? I mean, we do have a lot of other processes also, but when you speak about sales, this is what it has, right? You will give ads, you'll do some publicity so that people will be aware of your product, right? And then once they are aware of it, they start inquiring about your product. And if they are really interested, if they're happy with the price and the features that you're providing, they might come and buy your product by becoming your customers. So this is what happens, right? The same thing even in Salesforce also, but we will have different terminologies. So as we are doing marketing, so actually as it's a sales process, right? So we have to store the entire information somewhere in the system, right? That is where we'll go with campaign. Campaign is an object where it will store the entire information of your marketing. So I'll create a new campaign here. You can start creating the name, give the name of the campaign, start making it active, give the type of the campaign, start date, end date, all the information you can fill. As it is not mandatory, I'm not just filling anything. I will say uh, Jan end webcast. Okay, I'll make it active. Okay, let's say this is about maybe a car showroom. I have given an ad, a webcast on my new car mode. So after creating, once I create, this is how the view is. Don't get scared about the view. So we will discuss about each and every point that is mentioned in this. As of now, just go to the details. So we are here to understand the everything. So for now, we'll just go with the details. So we just created this record, right? Name of the campaign is Jan and Webcast, and I made it active. Rest all are blank. And if you see, there are pencil symbols at the end, which mean these fields are editable. And on the right side, there are fields which says zeros, but I can't even modify them, right? Which are read only. So we'll see how does it. Okay. Once a campaign is done, so we will get the inquiry, right? So where do we store the inquiry in Salesforce? Let's say I'll go with lead. Lead is the table or an object where it will store the inquiry information. Let's say I will say Venkat as my lead. Let's say he is from it's a car showroom. Let's say we were speaking about in Indian Oil, right? So I'll just say Indian Oil. Let's say Indian Oil wants to buy 100 cars, right, for their employees. And Venkat came to me and he was inquiring about the product. So we do have other fields, but I'm not making anything, so I'll just save it. So I'm not giving any information. So this is how a inquiry record sits in the system. Okay. Now what will happen here? If you observe in the previous one and this one also, it says Ram as the owner. What do you mean by this? So when Venkat came to my organization to buy 100 cars, because his company wants 100 cars for his employees, and Venkat is the person who is making a deal now with my organization. He came to me and he said like, Ram, I need 100 cars from your organization. Then what will I do? I will ask my sales agents to speak with you, right? As I'm the CEO of the company, I can't sit with you, right? I have multiple other things to deal with. So what I'll do, I'll say, okay, I have another Ram who will deal with you. And this guy, who is the owner, will become the owner of this record. What do you mean by owner? The person who is working for that particular record, in this case the person who is working for that particular inquiry, he will be whole and sole responsible for this inquiry, which means whether Venkat is becoming my customer or not depends on this person, the conversation that he is making. Okay, which means, for example, let's say suddenly our internet is gone. What you people will do? If you are using any broadband, you'll call the service provider, right? So once you call the service provider, and let's say Deepthi is there on the other side who took your call, and she'll apologize and will say, okay, your internet connection will be restored in an hour or two. Does it mean that Deepthi will come to your house to fix your internet connection as she took your complaint?
No, she will be the
Definitely.
only owner and responsible person for that inquiry.
Correct. So Deepthi will be the person who created this record. What she will do, she will assign this record maybe to uh, Ram, right? A field agent working in that area where Venkat has raised the complaint. Now Ram is whole and sole responsible for fixing your issue. Okay, so he will be called as owner of this particular record. Okay, now Now what, Ram will start interacting with Venkat. First question that I generally ask, right? Any sales agent will ask is, okay, Venkat, how do you got to know about my product? If they did any campaign, Venkat will definitely give some answers. He'll say, okay, my friend referred, or he might say, no, no, yeah, I have seen your webcast recently. So what I'll do, I will come here, go to campaign history, and I'll say, add this to a particular campaign. What was that? Jan and webcast that we have created now. I'll say next and save it. Once I saved, it'll be tagged to that particular campaign. It might take some time, but yeah, it will come for sure. See, earlier, if you remember, everything is 0, but now leads in campaign it became 1. Right? Earlier it was 0. Why? Because we have tagged this particular lead to this webcast, which means this states, okay, from this webcast, from this campaign, or from this marketing that you did, you have generated one inquiry, which means this is useful, right? Likewise, let's say if I got 1,000 leads, every lead will be tagged over here by the sales agents manually. Okay, so that in future, if I want, okay, but if I want to create another campaign in the same area, then I'll understand, okay, is that really worthy in generating or creating a campaign in this area or not? If I'm not getting any leads, then there is no point of doing the same campaign again and again, or I might be doing some mistake, right? Now, post this, Ram will start asking or explaining multiple questions. Actually, Venkat will start ask questions, right? So he'll ask about the models that you have, the best one, or the features that you have in the car, all the things. Now, Ram being a sales agent may or may not be able to answer all the questions that are asked by Venkat, right? Because Venkat is technically very good, right? Ram may or may not be good. He is good in selling the product, but now Venkat started asking about more and more details, right? Maybe the lubricant that will handle, or the engine capacity, CCs, multiple things. Then Ram will say, okay, Venkat, I don't know about this, but I can help you in resolving it by getting in touch with my technical folks. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll go to activity. Why should I go? Because Venkat is not my only inquiry, right? So if I was asked to deal only one person in a day, then my organization have to keep around 1,000 sales agents, right? So instead, generally we'll have 10 to 20 sales agents in any showroom or any organization, so that they'll deal with hundreds of customers. Then there is a high chance that I might forget Venkat's request, right? So what I'll do, I'll create a task for myself. I will say get lubricant info. I'll say complete it by maybe day after tomorrow and say, so that by day after tomorrow, if I forgot, even if I forgot, system will remind me. Like when I log in, it will show me, boss, you have a task to be completed. Okay, so you will see a pop-up here. Maybe in 2 days we will see that. Okay, if you see the due date. Now I have completed it. Now what I'll do, I will connect with Venkat, right? I have to inform him the information, right, that I got. So for that, I will go to log a call, and I'll add the conversation that I had with Venkat here. Let's say provided looks. Suppose that what will happen? Maybe Venkat might say, no, no, Ram, let's do one thing. Why can't you schedule a meeting with me, and maybe there are some other folks who wants to know about this in my organization. So why can't you present it to us? I'll say okay, and I'll say new event, and I'll schedule whatever it is requested. So I'll capture that information as well. Then at the end, I'll say, okay, can you send me this information as an attachment? So I don't have to go to my email. I'll just say new email, capture the information. If I have created Venkat's address, right? For example, in this, somewhere you will have email, Venkat at z.com. Let's say if this is our email. If I go to my activity, email, see Venkat email only captured. From here I can send whatever the information that I want, so that it will be tracked over here. So what will happen, whatever the activities that I'm trying or I'm doing here to convert Venkat as my customer is being captured over here, so that in future, like if okay, by the way, the status should be working contacted, as I started working on it, right now. By any chance, if Venkat is not able to, I'm not able to convert him as my customer, right? Even if my boss wants to know what I have done, so he can come here and I can see, okay, Ram did whatever he can do, but yeah, for some reason he didn't get converted, right? So at least it's not that blindly we are saying things are not available, right? We are providing the information. Now, let's say Venkat says, let's go with the positive one. Let's say Venkat says he is interested in buying the product. Then I'll change the status to converted. Now what will happen? He is now an inquiry. He will become my customer in future, right? So I have his information in a place where I'm storing my inquiry information. But I want to store his information now in a place where I have to store my customer's info. So basically the same information I have to copy paste somewhere else, which will actually becomes a duplicate. But Ram, it's still okay. One record only, no. But what if I have 1 lakh people who wants to become my customers? 1 lakh records you're duplicating, which is waste of memory, right? So that is where Salesforce has given us a good feature where it will help you to convert your inquiry to customer info by splitting your inquiry information, which is now lead, splitting your lead info into 3 different records. Some information in account, some in contact, and some in opportunity. Account is the customer. Why Indian Oil is coming here for customer information? Why not Venkat? Can someone clarify? Anyone? Neha, Deepti, Sudhakar, Venkat, Vara. Anyone? Venkat is a person who is inquiring about the product. He wants to buy this 100 cards, right? I mean, but why Indian Oil is coming?
Because Venkat is working for Indian Oil.
Yes.
Indian Oil is the main company, so
Even though Venkat is my inquiry, he is coming for Indian Oil. It's Indian Oil wants to buy, which means Venkat is not gonna pay me for 100 cards. Indian Oil is gonna pay. So Indian Oil will be my customer, and who is Venkat? He's my point of contact. What is opportunity? This is very important. Opportunity is nothing but a chance for me to sell my product, okay? Or the customer's requirement will be stored in opportunity. Now I'll say convert. Now what will happen? Salesforce will automatically delete your lead record. It has created this information. See, behind this you have Venkat record, right? What will happen if I close this? See, it went back. See, today there are no leads. There's that Venkat record has been deleted. But if I go to accounts, you will see Indian Oil. Under Indian Oil, you will see this. Now, let's say Indian Oil, it's from Bangalore. So Venkat bought the cars, things are done. Now Indian Oil Delhi also wants to buy the cars from me. Is that possible? Yes, provided if I can supply there, right? But for Indian Oil Delhi, will Venkat be my contact again? May not be, right? Maybe someone else. Neha might be the GM over there, so she might be connecting with me, right? As Indian Oil is a company, so it can have multiple people working for it, right? I'll say Neha here. which means under one account or under one organization, as we have multiple employees, under one account we have multiple contacts. And can a customer do multiple transactions with me? Is that possible?
Yes.
That is where you can have multiple opportunities. So as the name itself says, the tab name itself says it is related, you can see all the child records that are associated. Okay. Now if I go back to my Jan and webcast, if I refresh and go to the details again, you'll see some more changes. It have created one lead, it have created one campaign. See, only one. Even if I have added one more contact as Neha, it is showing me only one. Why? Because only one contact came through this campaign, that is Venkat. Neha didn't came through that campaign, right? Even if it says two contacts here. Neha knows this product already, so she came to me, right? That's how it is. Now, this is where you will capture all your accounts information, the company information. But what is important is your opportunity here. So again, when I say I'm interested, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna buy. So I'm interested for all the other discussions. Like again, it will have a lot of process, right? Because 100 cards is not a small thing. Or even if you are going with one card, is not a small thing, right? You will have a lot of discussions. So that's where you will have multiple stages. Depending on the stage, it will change. For example, let's say the price of the entire deal is once here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say it says expected revenue out of your once year. It says it is only 10 lakhs if you observe. Why? Because you are at a prospecting stage. For example, I'll just change it to something else. See, expected revenue changed, right? Let's say if I say that yes, he is very much in I mean he's gonna buy that, or the product has been delivered and amount has been paid, that is where we'll change it to closed won or closed lost. When I say closed lost, at some point he's not interested, he lost the I mean he went out of the company. So that is where it becomes the full revenue, and if you come back, it will read the campaign with full amounts. Okay, so with this campaign, this is what the revenue that has been generated. Okay, now Ram, story is fine. Somehow you managed to create these records, but how does it really related to our sessions? That is something important. Now, do you really think that it is possible for me to show this entire or narrate this entire storyline without having a relation between these objects at the back end? Is that possible? No, right? Do you really think unless until there are some automation rules defined at the back end, this entire process is possible? Do you really think unless until I define these things in a proper order, unless until this UI is properly defined, this entire narration is possible? Definitely no. That is where we are. So that's what we are going to learn in admin's journey. So we will see when again now to understand what we have done today. I mean, you might have understood the high level, but but you, this is not, you are not here to learn as an end user, right? You are here to understand or define for an end user, a structure for an end user, an application for an end user. For that, there are two ways. One way is to learn this right from scratch, right? All the entire structure that I've shown you, and the other way is doing the reverse engineering. Reverse engineering won't work out for you because when I say reverse engineering, first I should know what has been engineered over there, what kind of features that are available over here. Then I can do a reverse engineering. So that is what we are going to do now. So we are going to discuss about all these features, and then we'll discuss about your sales and service process again. We'll come back to that. We'll see how these stages are defined, all these things. But before that, we'll see how do we define an application, how do we define an object, how do we define the UIs, how do we secure it, all these things we'll discuss, and then we'll come back to the sales and service process. We'll see what can be done over there. Any questions? What we are going to discuss from tomorrow, but not on the sales and service. Rather, we will bring up some market standard applications in anything random, and then we'll start building it right from scratch itself, right? So generally in any organizations, right, so once we start an application, it doesn't mean that okay, tomorrow we am going to start, I'll start building the application. No, that is not possible. Rather, what we'll do is we will discuss about the user requirements first, capture them, and then we'll define a skeleton. Based on that skeleton, we'll start building the application. Okay, any questions, anyone?
No.
No, Ram.
Okay, perfect. That's all I have. Let's connect tomorrow, and then make sure you are coming up with your org ready, right? And then we'll do it.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.